All right, you guys, Drake Riggs here for MMAnia.com with, of course, the one and only Dakota Ditcheva. I mean, Dakota, great to see you again. Are you getting sick of me yet?
No, not yet.
All right, we'll get there. We'll get there. But I mean, as great as it is to always see you, Dakota, what are we doing here? Washington, D.C., no fights this time, just hanging out. What's the deal?
No, it's a little bit different for me this time, but I'm excited to be here and actually not be nervous and be like in fight week. It's nice.
Kind of locked up and ready.
Dieting and all that stuff. It's been nice.
All right, cool. Are you excited to see the big fights? Of course, we got stuff coming up in the press conference. I mean, Cyborg Pacheco. I'm really excited for that one.
It's a big fight.
Yeah.
Big women's fight, that one. I'm excited to see what happens there. And Ngannou and Renan as well. Massive fights. But yeah, it's going to be amazing, that show.
For sure. And last time I did see you was when you won your last fight, Nashville. Did you get the chicken?
Did I get the chicken? No, do you know I didn't?
Oh, no.
During fight week, there was no queue at Hattie B's. As soon as I wanted to go, it was like
lined up.
And I was like, I'm not waiting in that. I'm too hungry for it. So, no, I didn't get any.
Goodness. One of these days, you got to get the specialties. But it was interesting, Dakota, because ahead of the last fight, you know, as more and more as you're in the PFL and growing and all that, we see more different sides of you and whatnot. And the fashion side, the fashion sense, you've always had a great fashion sense. I wanted to ask you about this because, like, when did that kind of develop, right? I mean, you know, living a fight life like you have yours, some people maybe get less in tune with their girliness as a girl or things like that. So has that always been there or kind of?
It's always been like that. There's photos of me as a kid and my mum will speak about it all the time. She says, you know, I used to put like a football kit on, but then I used to have my little plastic high heels to go with it. So I've always had that mix. I've always been a little bit of a tomboy, you know, like tomgirl, should I say, wanting to still dress girly, but also get dirty, play football, you know, stuff like that. And I think I've just carried that on till now, and I love now still to show both sides.
Okay, all right, so then I got to ask you, what is the key to a great outfit? Because you're not like flashy or anything, you don't do anything too crazy.
No, I definitely don't. I'm kind of like quite chilled with it, but me and my brother talk about this all the time. I think we say like, if your shoes and your bag are like the main things, your outfit can be literally anything.
Okay.
So it's like pick what shoes I want to wear, pick what bag I want to go, and then kind of mix the rest of it.
Okay, all right.
That's what I do.
Designer stuff or no?
A little bit, not too much. I don't like to be like plastered in the whole
Yeah. Logos everywhere.
My Chanel's on now. And, I mean, this is just Zara, so this is plain, but my Chanel's told you shoes, and then my bag is nice as well.
A good combo.
Yeah. Bit of a mix.
Yes, of course. And also speaking of fashion a little bit, Dakota, I mean, at your last fight you had the Celsius can necklace thing, and I was curious, like, that wasn't a real can, right? It was just kind of bling.
It was just a literal blinged out, like, diamond kind of Celsius.
Pretty crazy.
It was so cool, honestly. Everyone, like, has commented on it, and they've all been, like, my brothers were putting it on, like, everyone wanted to wear it, so, yeah, I just wish it was a little bit smaller so I could rock it all the time.
I don't know, it's like a legit can.
Yeah, literally.
Your idea or theirs?
Their idea, but I'm down for it. You know, it's nice when brands think of things like that. You know, it's a little bit refreshing rather than just sometimes holding like the product or whatever. It kind of catches people's attention, which I feel like it did on the night. It was something a little bit different. I liked it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Celsius, of course, great product. I'm pretty hooked on it myself, but you know, it is what it is. So I got to ask you, favorite flavor?
Ooh,
so many to choose from.
It was Cosmic Vibe. It's now Fantasy Vibe.
Okay, that's a good one.
It's like
Galaxy guy myself.
That's nice as well, yeah. But have you tried the Fantasy one?
Yes, that's the kind of creamsicle-ish one. Yeah, marshmallowy.
Yes,
Yeah.
Nice.
yes, indeed.
And they do it in the UK now, which is amazing.
Okay.
They've launched in the UK, which I've been dreaming about for ages, but now I'm in the States, it probably doesn't matter too much to me.
All right. So I'm curious too, because like I've talked to a couple Celsius sponsored athletes, of course, aside from yourself, but like, what is life in corporation like? Is it just a thing, you know, you show off for certain times, or are you actually a big fan of it and use it, incorporate it into routines? I know Dustin Poirier, he was really excited about this one specifically, which a little too much for me, honestly, the big boys there, but he says it really has helped him with like, you know, going harder and training and stuff like that.
100%. Before I even became a Celsius athlete, I was drinking the drinks.
Okay.
And I'm always one to say, like, I will only work with brands that I use and believe in, because I don't enjoy social media. So if I'm going to work with a brand that I don't like, it just makes it 10 times harder for me to kind of make content and post for them. So I always make sure I'm with a brand that I actually use, and then it's just natural. So for me, like, I have this all the time, you know, I prefer the smaller guns like you. But yeah, it's just kind of that extra push, you know, we train so hard in camp, and to be able to kind of have that little bit of a sweet treat, it being a sweet treat is like perfect for me, yeah.
What's the average consumption like then? I'm a 1 per day guy, honestly.
Yeah, I don't have more than 1 a day, and I try and leave sometimes not 1 a day. I try
Okay.
and skip a day,
Yeah.
But, yeah, 1 a day for me is enough. Just that little extra boost in the afternoon sometimes, or, you know, it's perfect.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And just as for the season overall, Dakota in the finals, congrats again. Amazing stuff, great stuff so far. I mean, how has the experience been like for you? Obviously good, positive results and all that, but like, have you enjoyed going through this first international season and everything, and where we are now, you know, little bit of a break before, you know, the big finale here, but have you enjoyed the process? Like, tell me about it.
I really have enjoyed the season. It's been tough, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's been mentally a little bit draining. I think I've enjoyed it more because after, I've said this before, but after like one fight, normally I get a little bit of a come down.
Right.
Fighters get a little bit depressed, you know, we kind of are on a high for so long and then we come back down, and it's difficult. Whereas throughout this tournament, I haven't really had a chance to have that. You know, I've been straight back to training, I've kept my vibe up really high, and I've really enjoyed doing that, you know, and I've just loved living in the gym day in, day out, which is what I normally do anyway, but actually having a goal to focus on and knowing kind of set dates that I'm going to be fighting has been like perfect for me.
Of course, and like, I'm always curious about this because we hear fighters all the time say, oh, best camp of my life, or things like that. And so in my mind, I imagine, and I've asked a couple about it, of course, but like, no camps are easy, right? So is the best one a really hard, shitty, difficult one? Like, what is it like for you? What makes the best camp? Because it's not going to be easy, right?
No, I mean, I think for some people it'll be like the diet being a lot better, the wake up being a lot better, things like that. Injuries being less. Not no injuries. I don't think if you go
Can't
through
do
a
that.
camp with no injuries, I feel like you haven't trained hard enough.
Right.
You definitely come out with an injury for sure at every camp. But yeah, I mean, what makes a perfect camp? Just it's different for everyone, I suppose. For me, it's just being confident. You know, not missing a session. That's a big thing for me. You know, making sure that I'm there and not skipping any classes or anything, and yeah, just high vibes the whole time with my team.
Yeah, there you go. Positivity, can't beat that. And of course, plenty of that going into the Taila Santos fight. But when it comes to her, Dakota, watching her the whole season, and you know, before that with the UFC stuff and everything. But when it comes to this matchup for you, what do you think the biggest threat she proposes to you specifically is?
Biggest threat, probably experience, maybe. You know, she's fought literally at the top of the game. You know, she's done 5 rounds before. Yeah, I think that's the only really big threat. You know, I feel like I'm still on her level in all areas. I think I showed in the last fight I stopped Jenna in the first round. She's gone to a split decision.
Right.
I know obviously sometimes you can have off days and stuff, but it just shows I'm still on that level, so I think it's going to be a really exciting fight for sure. But the only kind of thing that sets us apart is experience, I think.
I think you should play into the Barbie thing. Going back to fashion here with this. Have you thought about that at all?
I mean,
Giving you ideas.
Yeah, she commented on my post when I won the European belt saying I want Barbie's belt. So I know she's been calling me that for a long time, but I mean, if I could change my nickname of Dangerous to Barbie, I would do it. So it's not an insult to me.
You could.
Yeah, I feel like Dangerous suits me a little bit better.
Yeah, the 3Ds.
But yeah, it's not an insult to me. I don't really care.
So I'm going to go off track here a little bit, Dakota, but like, you know, when we first met, I asked you about people maybe being surprised to hear that you're a fighter and stuff, and then circling back into fashion and everything. Is dating hard if you you know, try to do that during a busy life and all that, but you know, guys would be like, whoa, maybe surprised by that too and off put or anything? What's that like?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. It's definitely difficult. I mean, we're odd characters as fighters for sure. That's the only way to describe it. But also we live a very selfish lifestyle. For me, I'm very selfish in the fact that my career will come before anything. Right now, I feel like that's
Kind of has to, right?
Yeah, that's the kind of mindset I'm in, and that's probably what makes me the fighter I am. I'm dedicated to my sport, and there's nothing that will kind of. I've been off track before, and paid the consequences for it. So for now, like, this is kind of what I'm set on, and if no one can fit into that, then it's not the right time. And that's kind of what I've come to accept now. Plus, you know, you got to find the strong men, and you don't often find them. If they're scared of us, then
Right.
you know, they've got no chance. So yeah, it's definitely hard. It's a very selfish sport, but I always say it'll happen when it happens.
Perfect. I think you summed that up very nicely.
Yeah.
All about timing.
Yes.
And speaking of timing too, Dakota, like you mentioned, kind of the comparison between your fights with Jenna and between you and Taila, and you know, you were very calm in the moment where, you know, her most success was taking you down. I think pretty fair to say, right? And you know, just darn, one of those moments. But you know, you played it cool, got up, everything was fine. I'm curious for you, like having gone through your career, have there been any points like of clear mid-fight panic, like in your mind, that maybe you haven't shown? Because I can't say I've pinpointed anything, but like you've been pretty calm in all these instances where people can be like, "Oh, there's that moment." You know?
No, do you know what? I don't feel like I have. I'm very kind of chilled and patient in my fights. I feel like over the period that I've been fighting, I've got better and better with that. And even Jenna got a beautiful takedown. I made the mistake of, you know, at that time, knee into the body, and she took me down perfectly. But for me, I'm like, me and my team were happy it happened. As annoyed as I was at the time,
Right.
I was like, God damn it. You know, it was still a really good point for me to show exactly what I'm capable of, you know, and I wasn't phased at all, and I don't think I ever am in a fight. I feel like that's when mistakes happen, when you panic. So for me, I'm quite good at keeping my cool, and as you saw, I got back up and she paid the price for it.
Yes, she definitely did. And I know you're not one to look ahead necessarily, Dakota, but I feel like it can be hard not to with momentum sometimes. But like, any goal ideas after the season? I mean, that's a pretty big one to look ahead, but I gotta ask you.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely not satisfied with the World Championship
Right.
belt. I'll definitely have to defend that. I mean, one of the big things would be like a Manchester card.
Yeah.
I say it now, PFL need to go to Manchester. Obviously, we've got Brendan fighting tomorrow, but if we had him on the card, we've got a load of UK fighters that have signed for PFL Europe that we could put on the card. I just think it's a place we're really missing out on, and I feel like, especially when I win the belt and then Brendan wins it for the second time,
Right.
how can they say no to doing a Manchester card?
Big double headliner.
Do that.
Yeah.
And then put Jake Paul on it as well.
Oh boy, now we're
Versus
talking.
Manchester.
Yes, for sure. Has there been any life advice, like overall, that has really stuck with you that someone's given?
Life advice.
Big
Loads.
question, yeah.
I mean, I think I get the most life advice from the mistakes I've made in the past couple of years, career-wise and outside of the sport. But life advice, it would be too many to pick, honestly. But that's why I'm lucky to have my mum. She's, especially inside the sport, she's made a lot of mistakes in the sport that I kind of steer away from now, because she's had that experience and she kind of, you know, puts me in the right direction.
Right.
So I'm definitely thankful for my mum having the experience and the taking the lessons before I do.
Yes, that certainly helps. But all right, Dakota, I've taken plenty of your time. I did not want to explain this post today. I wanted to kind of wait till the next one, but you gave such a great answer last time.
Okay.
So, you want to play again?
Go on.
All right. So I got it ready this time, but this one is from May 27th of last year. And I thought this was kind of funny. It says you were in Puerto Banús, Marabella.
Yeah.
The caption is all kinds of happy, but you're just kind of not so happy. Do you remember this moment?
I'm not smiling there, am I?
Yeah.
I look very stush.
Yes.
That was in Marbella, yeah, in Spain. Between camps, I think that was between the semi-finals and the final of my PFL Europe season. I went abroad, so I was just on holiday, and I went with my mum and my brother. That was literally all that photo was from.
All right.
Yeah, and what if I captioned it?
All kinds of happy.
All kinds of happy. All kinds of happy. Probably because I know I'm about to win 100k.
Yep, that'll do it. That'll
I'm
do
getting
it.
a brand new belt, and I'm also on a holiday, which is something that makes me very happy.
Of course.
That's what it'll be.
Do you have any holiday goal plans, the next one in mind that you want to hit?
I mean, after I'm done now. I'm back to Florida next week.
Right.
Back into camp. So I feel like I live in a holiday every day of the year. Honestly,
I mean, we're here right now.
I'm here as well, yeah, I'm very lucky to be able to live in a place that's literally like a holiday for me. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to kind of travel a few more places, but can't wait to get back in camp, honestly.
Yeah, of course. And we're looking forward to that fight. So best of luck as always, Dakota. Thanks so much for chatting, hanging out, especially not during a fight week and whatnot. So yeah, let's enjoy DC. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.